Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you something a little bit different today. Today we're going to be doing a complete review plus on-feet video of my custom Nike ID Air Huaraches. Now as you guys can see, it does come in a standard black and white Nike ID box. Open it up and on the inside, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at my custom designed Huaraches inspired by this guy right here, Cristiano Ronaldo's first ever signature Mercurial colorway in the form of the Mercurial Superfly 2. I've always been a big fan of this particular colorway for the Superfly 2 and just the Mercurial line in general. Really like the combination of white and black safari print with the orange accent in the Nike swoosh. I've been planning on ordering a pair of Nike ID Air Huaraches for a little while now. I was playing around with the customizer. When I saw that safari print was an option, I immediately thought of this shoe right here, and I decided to base my colorway or my design on this particular model, and I have to say the end result turned out pretty well. So in today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at this particular pair of Nike ID Air Huaraches. I'll kind of walk you through my design process, how I came about to this final design, and basically just cover everything you would want to know about this particular shoe. Even do a bit of a history lesson on this particular model, because to people who aren't too into older running models from Nike, these definitely do look a little bit strange, and I'm going to explain why that is in today's video. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around. If you're interested in checking out the customizer on Nike ID for the Air Huarache, you can Nike ID a pair for about $140 US. It's like a $30 premium over a standard colorway, so it's honestly nothing too bad. And for a custom colorway, $140 in my opinion is a pretty reasonable price to pay. There's pretty good options available, and again, if you are interested in just playing around with the customizer, there'll be a direct link to that down below in the description of this video. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. Alright, so here is a look at the Air Huaraches. For those that aren't familiar with this particular shoe, it was a flagship runner for Nike when it originally came out in 1991. So it's quite a few years old now, but has kind of stuck around over the years as a retro model. Obviously, you can still wear these as running shoes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, although they are quite comfortable, but at this point in its life cycle, if you will, it's definitely seen and worn as more of a casual wear shoe as opposed to an actual performance model. One of the most distinctive elements of this particular running shoe, especially considering that it is from Nike, is that it does not have any Nike swoosh branding on the upper. You're going to find Nike branding on the back here in this kind of rubberized heel piece, but other than that, you're not going to find any other Nike branding on the shoe. You can see it says by Nike on the tongue. Again, very, very subtle, not what you would normally find from the brand. And there is, of course, the Nike Air branding on the bottom as well, which, again, not something you would really see while you're actually wearing the shoe. So it's definitely one of the more unique designs that Nike has come out with over the last 20 years or so. Because like I said, this design has been around for a little while. Certainly not for everybody, but I just appreciate the history of the shoe and actually quite like how it looks, not to mention that they are very, very comfortable. So as far as customizing them on Nike ID is concerned, for those that don't know what Nike ID is, it's a customization service that the brand offers. Of course, you pay a premium in order to customize a pair. In the case of the Air Huarache, the normal colorways retail anywhere between $100 and $110, so you're paying $30 to $40 extra to get that custom color, which isn't too unreasonable in my opinion, and they give you a fair amount of options, which is really, really nice. Of course, there is a wait period from when you make your order, because they do actually have to make them from scratch. It's a customized colorway at the end of the day, and I ended up waiting pretty much the full, I think they estimate 6 to 8 weeks on this particular shoe, and mine arrived in 6 weeks, so the lower portion of the wait time, but still a fair amount of time to wait for a single pair of shoes. Again, the Nike ID wait time will actually vary depending on which model that you go for. Some have a longer wait time, some have a shorter wait time, but like I said, for these, 6 weeks, right on the nose, and there's really not too much to complain about because that's kind of what they told you from when you make your order. So as far as the actual colorway and the just design in general is concerned, I started off with really the one element that I knew I wanted on the shoe no matter what, and that was the safari print that you're going to find here on both the lateral and medial side, and then of course right here wrapping around the toe and forefoot area of the shoe. Now again, the inspiration here was this guy right here, the original CR7 Mercurial signature colorway, which was a white base with of course the black safari print. You do not have that option on Nike ID for the Air Huarache, but you do have this gray with the black safari print, which I think looks really, really good. If white was an option, obviously that is something that I would have gone with. It would have been a little bit closer to this particular colorway. colorway, but on an actual sneaker, I really do feel like the gray with the black safari print does look really, really good. And the end result, I'm just really happy with. The quality is nice. And what's cool about this shoe is there's just a lot of different layers and materials to it, which I kind of wanted to show off by changing up the colors within the upper itself. Now this area in the toe, I went with a white synthetic leather. You could go with a white mesh as well. I just thought the synthetic leather looked a little bit better. It gave it more of a solid look, similar to the shoe itself. And that is, again, the reason why I went with white is to kind of look a little bit more like this particular color, because obviously it does have a white base. And then of course the midfoot area of the shoe is the neoprene kind of enclosure for your foot. It's really the signature and the reason why the Air Huarache line was released in the first place. It was inspired by ski boots, believe it or not, in that they just wrapped your foot without really the need for laces. And that's kind of the element that you get with this shoe. You see it a lot in their soccer line now with the Mercurial X Finale model, where it does have that kind of neoprene wrap through the midfoot. It's a similar idea here, but the entire kind of rear portion of the shoe is made from kind of a stretchy, thicker neoprene material, which is actually quite comfortable to wear on your feet. So the main portion here is black. Probably could have gone with white, again, to kind of more closely resemble what you get with this particular shoe, but obviously this does have the black in the heel liner, which I thought would look pretty good here. I decided to go with black as opposed to orange or white, just because I think it would be a little bit too flashy, and instead I went with orange in the midfoot and the heel liner, and obviously a little bit here on the back, kind of as a Nike swoosh, if you will. It doesn't have a Nike swoosh, so I couldn't make an orange one on the shoe, but you have that kind of under layer of neoprene being orange, which is actually a very close shade. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. And I think it just looks really, really good. I'm happy with the final result. And I think that if you have these two shoes side by side, it's pretty clear to see that they have something in common. The laces that I went with were white with the little black there, a little black detailing, which actually looks pretty good. They look different in person than they do in the customizer, which if you guys go play with the customizer, you definitely will see that. You do have the Air Huarache branding in white with kind of like a clear black kind of backing. It's like just a silver piece, not a silver, sorry, a circle that's kind of embroidered to the actual tongue itself. This little back rubberized piece that kind of maintains some of the structure to the rear portion of the shoe. You have some color options there. I was thinking about going orange, but I thought it was going to be a little bit too loud, so I decided to go with kind of like a smoky translucent black color, which I think ended up looking really, really good in the grand scheme of things. And then on the back of the shoe, you guys probably noticed this embroidered 001, and the embroidery isn't fantastic, I will say that. Whereas on the other shoe, it actually says CR. And the reason why I went CR001, CR signifies obviously Cristiano Ronaldo, and the 001 signifies this particular colorway, his first ever signature. I would have loved to have put CR7, but actually Nike ID's customizer doesn't allow you to put CR7, which is kind of interesting. The reason why I went CR00001 is because if you look at the insoles on all of the CR7 signature colorways, even his most recent ones, it's going to say designed to the exact specifications of Cristiano Ronaldo. And as you guys can see, because this is his first signature colorway, it just says 00001. So it's not obviously the exact same number of zeros, I don't think. Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we're short 10, but that's all the digits that it would actually allow me to embroider on the shoe. So I just put as many zeros as I could and then finish it off with a 1, as you guys can see. As far as the midsole is concerned, I decided to go with a black midsole as opposed to white, just because you have a carbon fiber sole plate that's black, and I just didn't want there to be too much white on the shoe, just because I think for casual wear, it would look a little bit better if it was darker. So I went with a white midsole, a black midsole, and decided to do the white paint speckles on there, which I think looks pretty cool. It's a little bit over the top. I think it would have looked okay too if it was just solid black, but I personally just like the look of the paint speckles, so that's why I had included it on there. And then of course the outsole, didn't want to go too crazy there. You could have gone with orange, which I think would have looked okay. White would have looked okay as well. Even solid black would have looked fine. But I decided to just go for kind of a translucent look. When you do have it against a black midsole, it does come across as more of like a dark blue kind of, just because of how it kind of reflects against that black midsole. But nonetheless, I think it looks pretty cool. And overall, I'm just really, really happy with the design. The quality, the finishing is really, really nice. The only minor thing that I kind of can complain about is the stitching, but that's kind of to be expected because of the kind of elasticated nature of the actual neoprene material itself. It can't be too easy to embroider on that, but nonetheless, that is the final product. I think they turned out great. I think they look pretty good, pretty close to this actual shoe. You can definitely tell that this shoe is inspired by this shoe or vice versa. They have their similarities, which is kind of what I was going for. And like I said, the final product just worked out really, really nicely. So leave your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these turned out? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the on feet portion of the video so we can take a closer look at how these things actually look on feet, as well as talk about the sizing because they are a little bit off in comparison to most other Nike models. All right, so here is a look at the Nike ID Air Huaraches on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of SR4U premium replacement laces. Now, technically, these laces are designed specifically for soccer shoes, but they work on regular shoes as well, and I thought that this particular variation would look pretty good on this colorway. And if you guys are interested in a pair of SR4U replacement laces for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. It'll be linked in the description of this video. As far as how these things look on feet, I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think it's a pretty cool looking shoe. Definitely a little bit over the top in terms of having the safari print with the white, the black, and of course the bright orange. But I personally like how they look. I mean, I designed them myself, so I should like how they look. And it's just an interesting looking shoe overall. I know that the Air Huarache in general, not just this design, but the shoe in general is not for everybody. But if you like how they look, they're very comfortable to wear, and considering the price, even for a Nike ID pair, they're relatively affordable, and you can of course get a custom colorway if you do go the Nike ID route. Comfortable shoes, lots of underfoot cushioning, it's got a pretty thick midsole, and of course you do have the Zoom Air as well, which I believe is in the forefoot and heel, and it just feels really comfortable. I would say that these are a little bit more comfortable than the general release colorways that I have. The midsole just feels a little bit softer on the Nike ID variation. Also, the width of the shoe, I know it's something that a lot of people will ask. They're wide enough to fit just about everybody. The comfort and just overall feel on feet is really good. A great choice as an everyday casual wear shoe. As far as sizing is concerned, it's a little bit off with this shoe. They run about a full size small. Normally in most running shoes or casual wear shoes, I wear a size 9.5 US. With these, I had to go up to a 10.5 to have that perfect fit. So if you don't know how these fit, you are ordering online, you don't have the opportunity to try them on yourself, I would personally recommend going a full size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. Like I said, I normally wear a size 9.5, I bumped it up to a 10.5, and the fit is pretty much perfect for me at least. So again, if you're looking to order a pair, I'd recommend going a full size up. Alright guys, that's it for my review of these Nike ID Air Huaraches. I know this is generally not the type of video that I feature on the channel, but because it was a soccer inspired colorway, I thought that enough of you guys would enjoy the video, so that's why I put it up. If you guys are interested in seeing more sneaker related content from myself, I actually do have a dedicated sneaker channel on YouTube, youtube.com/VujoJosh2. I'll leave an annotation on screen as well as a link down below in the description. If you do want to go ahead, check it out, maybe even subscribe if you just want to get updated for when I do have new uploads, of course. Again, link down below in the description if you want to check that out. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys are perhaps interested in playing with the customizer on Nike ID for the Air Huarache, again, there will be a link down below in the description of this video. You can go ahead and check it out. If you guys do have any questions at all regarding this shoe, or just questions in general, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.